Hallo miteinander, I'm Gesh86, and this is the Disappearing of Gensokyo. Last time we found the coolest companion and rode our boat through the air. For stage 3, Cherno is the preset partner. Changing her to Mystia would cost a few points. Even if it were free, we wouldn't need to. The aesthetic of the surface is that of an autumnal grassland. I like it a lot. We never got to look at the strongest fairy. Now we have. A few steps in and we face the first enemy patrol. Among it is a fairy in a slightly darkened dress. She herself won't make much of an impression. In fact, she is now flattened by Keystone. Still, keep her type in mind. Who's this? Someone we should lower our weapons for. It's the wavelength-bending Lunar Rabbit Reisen Udongi in Inaba, with her silly Touhou 14.5 toy gun, no less. Reisen still has Tenshi in negative remembrance because of her Scarlet Weather Rhapsody storyline, though everyone is wise enough to not have that stand between them. We learn that this rabbit is not here as a herald of Aentei, but through her own decision. She too wants to solve the sinsack incident, or at least contact Reimu Hakure about it, who has a good hand for incidents. A better one than we have. Our goals seem to align. Before we team up, we must promise not to thrash the Hakure shrine for the 100th time. It would actually be the 3rd for Tenshi, but at this point we might as well exaggerate as bad as the old Greeks did. Mystia and Cherno are losing themselves in panic again, just like they did last episode. That is their introduction to Reisen. She is going to turn into her ammunition shortly. Fun fact, all Yukuri have different facial expressions. Reisen's is broken up in tears. Here's a brief close-up of our bunny. But oops, we've got enemies approaching. We can't lollygag. This wave introduces suicide bomber sinsacks. The one we had here completely sabotaged his peers. That's not what he's supposed to do, but we shall not complain. Whenever we spot a load of dynamite on a foe, we must make them a priority target from now on. Oh, the cast of this game just keeps getting better and better. I am happy to see Kogasa Tatara and hope she enjoyed feasting on Reisen's surprise. She is not going to be a new recruit for us. She potentially can be, but only through special means. Remember when we didn't need to protect Byakuren and how glad we were for that? Well, our luck has run out. We're about to start the first escort mission of the game. Kogasa is a member of the Buddhist crew. Perhaps she's not as closely tied to them as it would be commendable. Nonetheless, she wants to go back to Myoren Temple, and we have to make sure she isn't killed on the way. Tenshi is so weird sometimes. She still wants to get rid of Mystia and Cherno. Could it be that those two have to make way for a new sidekick? It's a possibility. Alright, I've never failed Kogasa thus far, but I have had blunders when escorting other folk. I can tell you that her survival is tied to yours. The biggest danger to our Karakasa are the bombers. The damage they cause is severe. Failing to take them out is really the only way this mission can turn sour. This Kogasa may be pitiful and weak, but she won't be if you play as her. She is paid DLC and comically powerful. Here's where the babysitting ends. Kogasa will wait for us at the Azure Fortress as an NPC. About paid DLC, if you haven't seen it in the forum, we won't be using any over the course of this Let's Play. On the lower path here is where the first magic piece of the level awaits, as well as its many guardians. Reisen may not be sufficient to deal with them. Players of DOG do not regard her as an especially powerful weapon. Good thing we still have Cherno for when the action gets tight. We already know her well, so let's talk about Reisen. Her primary attack is a burst of 3 bullets. With those actual bullets, several more illusionary ones come out. These normally do not harm enemies unless you create the right circumstances. That's where Reisen's bomb comes into play. It's the red circle we're placing on the ground. All fake bullets that pass through it become real. Basically, it's not a bomb that's an attack in itself. Instead, you're supporting yourself with it. Whoa, what mayhem is this? Remember the fairies in the darker dresses? They cause these wall ricocheting blasts, and boy are they dangerous. They are long-lasting and very likely to blindside you. The encounter we just survived led to my first death on my maiden playthrough. I distinctly remember that. Reisen's secondary attack is a double laser. It comes from her eyes. You can see her head bobbing a little bit on use. Imitating Cyclops of the X-Men like that costs 5 ammo points, and it's very much worth it. This is a useful secondary attack due to its long range and the fact that it pierces through baddies. It lets you swiftly decimate even the backline of enemy groups. Somehow, I still often forget that I have it. Got to sweep before my own door there. A disadvantage of the laser is that you can't use it in quick succession. This is a rule that goes for most secondary attacks. We are coming up on the third magic piece already. White Tenshi, by now we know her name, wants to say hi to us. She is shouting about tits to us. Yeah, she really did. If you don't believe me, just rewind. A direct hit with an ice bomb has gotten rid of her. We can now get back on the mandatory path. One more thing about Reisen's moveset. Some characters possess out-of-the-ordinary dodges, and our Moon Rabbit is one of them. Whenever we roll, we leave behind a transparent clone. This clone can distract enemies and will even shoot them independently from time to time. I appreciate these varying dodge skills. It makes characters of DOG more than just another weapon. It really matters who you are at which point. Mystia, for example, has an especially long dodge in the style of a rockstar's stage slide. It does cost more stamina, unfortunately. At these stairs, we learn that the way to the Hakurei shrine is blocked off by Yukari's powers. To destroy the pesky barrier, we must obtain an Aeon Stone. This is basically a key we need to conquer through combat. If DOG didn't introduce such an objective, we could just run past all our foes. But that is not what this game intends, because it's not Adventures of Scarlet Curiosity. Nothing wrong with Adventures of Scarlet Curiosity, just saying we're currently not playing it. Moments ago, we defeated another White Tenshi, this time so swiftly you could call it by textbook. Actually, it wasn't another one, we're always harassed by the same White Tenshi. Somehow, our mysterious rival can revive again and again, as if she were a fairy. Very strange. At the cliff, we see a bright light marked by a blue arrow. That's the Aeon Stone we're so desperately searching for. Problem is, it acts like a beacon for enemies, so we find ourselves in another arena. This will be the case for all other Aeon Stones. We'll stumble upon more in the future, and they'll always mean trouble. A Raisin clone just got annihilated. They do have limited hit points, and not too many, it seems. I know that there's something we can do about that, a way to power up our clones. We'll learn of it some other time. Let's cash in our key and proceed through stage 3? No, we suddenly end stage 3 after spotting a figure at the shrine gate. They do not have Reimu's proportions. What a place to have a cliffhanger. DOG likes to do that. Get used to it. Kogasa is the newest NPC at our base. She agrees to work the forge for us. Kogasa as a blacksmith? This may seem very odd to you, it sure was for me. However, the perfect memento of Touhou question trivia game taught me that this is perfectly canonical. Kogasa is indeed a skilled metalworker. Her shop is going to be the primary spot of spending points for us. Everyone in our troupe has 4 upgrades each, with 2 of them being a prerequisite for another. Cherno has some extremely cheap ones for 9 and 99 points. They lower the warm-up or cool-up phase before shooting, as well as the range of our icicles. No reason not to get those, especially with how I praise Cherno's effectiveness. We still have ample cash left, so let's pick up Tenshi's Freedom from Worldly Thoughts to increase her puny firing distance. Tenshi isn't super great, weird for the main character, huh? But you can easily get into a situation where you have to use the Celestial. Upgrading her can never really be a mistake. About shopping, you will be able to review our purchases starting from episode 4 on the MOTK forum. I don't think I want to push upgrading to the forums exclusively. It is a very important aspect of gameplay. You should be able to witness it in the recordings themselves. Cherno and Mystia are being idiot children again. We could only approach Brain Freeze and Bird Brain as a duo in this case. That's how it will often be from now on. Yoshika still says the same unintelligible things. I swear she'll be more relevant one day. Now what Byakuren tells us here is very strange. She speaks as if it were set in stone that we would fight the mighty Suika. Why would we do that? It's as if she were a talking head for the developer, giving us tips on defeating the boss of the upcoming Stage 4. No way this game would be this fourth wall-breakingly meta. Nonsense. Having 6 magic pieces unlocks the second row of perks. We are going to set melee protection for the next episode. The new passives are an increased drop rate for ammunition, a faster charging process for our shield, and to have the shield regeneration kick in a little earlier. I'm a big fan of that last one, not so much the first. Running out of weaponry tends to not be a common issue. Some time will pass until we get access to more perks. We saw that the next threshold was at a steep 15 pieces. Reisen and Iku are at the northern edge of the fortress and will wrap up our search for dialogue. There are still so many shadows on the character menu. Look forward to seeing some more of them. Alright, when we continue soon, we will teleport back to the Hakure Shrine. With that, I'm Gish86, this was the Disappearing of Gensokyo, and next time we shoot a melon. Why won't anyone help us shoot the melon? Bis bald!